This is BJJ B3. Guillotine choke, head arm choke, and rear choke. First thing we're going to start with is the guillotine choke. Several ways you can apply the guillotine choke. Basic way you can learn it is first going to be on the ground. Again, your opponent's hand is going to be on the ground. I take my hands, I bring in, I post the feet, I push my hip and slide all the way out. The side I want to go to, I'm going to come up, I post my hand. Remember, your elbow cannot be on the ground. You want to make sure you keep your hand on the ground. I'm going to take the hand all the way around the neck, slide underneath the chin. I want this hand to come in and grab, not my hand, but my wrist. Very important, I grab the wrist. Now when I come back, I'm going to lock the legs around, and when I start applying it, I'm going to start stretching my legs and bringing my hip up. That's going to apply the guillotine choke. Again, legs locked around, grabbing the wrist, post the feet, push out, set all the way up, post the hand, grabbing around the neck, grabbing my wrist inside, falling back to the ground. And what I want to do is I want to stretch the body and bring in my hip up, which applies to guillotine choke. I'm going to show you another angle with that. Good. Hands are on the ground. I'm posting on the wrist, feet down. I'm going to push out, setting all the way up, putting the hand on the mat, reaching all the way around. Do not fall down until you secure the guillotine choke. Like I just try to choke before they secure it. I secure it. I come down, lock the legs, and I stretch the body. That secures it. That's the guillotine choke. Our next technique is going to be the head arm choke. There's several ways to set the head arm choke up, but I'm going to show you the basic way to set the head arm choke up. It's going to be from mount position. First thing I do is I mount it on the guy, and what I need is him pushing on an arm. I want to try him to push on the arm. So what I do is I'm going to post my right hand next to his neck. And what I'm trying to do is trying to get him to raise on this arm. So I'm going to go here, maybe in the collar, and maybe I'm start protecting that. As he does, I'm going to push the arm across the body. You know, it's going all the way across the neck and posting my hand on the side of his neck here. That hand's going to come completely underneath his neck. Now I want to make sure I put my body on his arm so he cannot pull that arm back out again. As I lock my hands here, I'm going to dismount by letting my knee come through, and I'm going to start walking towards his head. Okay? At a little bit better angle. Again, the object is try to get this guy to get one of his arms pulled across his body. Okay, I'm just showing you the basic parts right now. Hands on the floor. Once I feel his arm is crossed the center, his elbow is crossed the center part of my body, I drop my body on his arm. I do not want him to have that arm back. If I stay up here, he's going to get it back. But if I drop my body on his arm and my hand slides underneath his neck, and I want my bicep in there really tight, which really tight into. I lock the hands. Keep an eye on my hips here. This is what's going to make this work. I raise them up. I put this knee inside the other knee. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start walking all the way around until I tighten this thing up on him. I want to make sure I keep the pressure down on his head and on his neck. Okay? That's the head arm choke. Our next is the rear choke. From here, it's going to be setting in what I call a reverse guard. Very basic one on this is I want to line my elbow up with his chin. Very important. My elbow lines up with his chin. Do not get it here. Lines up with the chin. Then it grabs my bicep. Okay? All the way across. My other hand goes in behind the head. I pinch my elbows together and I separate my chest, which starts tightening the choke up. I'm going to show you at a different angle, just a little bit here. Okay? Right hand, actually I'm going to use the left hand again. Left hand comes in, I line the elbow up with this chin, very important. Hand grabs the bicep. This hand comes in behind the head. And what I want to do is just squeeze a little bit. I like to push my chest into him. That's when things start tightening up, when I start expanding my chest into him. Okay? That is BJJ B3, guillotine choke, head arm choke, rear choke.